Hey there, it is now May 2023, which means April's over. So it's time to do a budget report for April 2023. Creating your budget at the beginning of the month is so important. Sorry. Creating your budget at the beginning of the month is so important, but it doesn't do you much good if you don't follow up at the end of the month to see how you did, to see where you were successful, what changes you need to make. So that's what I'm doing today. Some people like to call it a budget closeout. I like to call it a budget report because it's my report for the month. But that's what I'm sharing with you today. And I have started filming these live for a couple of reasons. One, I like to be able to answer questions. So if people have a specific question about anything, I can go into greater detail. Also, it takes a lot of time to film videos, to edit them and upload them. And so by doing these live, I save some time on that so that I can create other videos that are helpful and more informative to people. But I like sharing these budgeting videos with you. They're kind of boring, but it's kind of what helps keep me financially successful. And it's doing the budget month in, month out. So this is how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my spreadsheet. I am a spreadsheet type person. I share mine. You can grab mine for a couple dollars. I'll put a link in. There's a link in the description box below. Right here in the comments, I'll also add a link to it. But if you're not a spreadsheet person, that's okay. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. There are a lot of great budgeting apps I've tested and tried to help with clients and to film videos showing you how to use them. There are some great ones out there if you prefer digital and apps. Feel free to check out one of those. But this is my template. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Our income, whoops. Okay. Our income is pretty fixed. My husband is salary, so he gets paid exactly what we expected, which makes things a lot easier for us. So he got paid what we were planned, just under $5,000. The LLC, this is my business. I make money I get money from YouTube ads. I sell budgeting products on Etsy, as well as I do financial coaching. So I didn't make a whole lot this month, but I was testing out a membership. I paid for him to do a membership with other financial coaches. But this is what I made. And I will show you how I'm going to spend it in just a minute. Interest, $231. We have a ton of money in online savings accounts. We like to keep our emergency fund in online savings accounts. We have it in its own separate account away from all of the rest of our money. But then we also, any money we plan to use in the next couple of years, we don't want invested, so we keep it in online savings. And we bought our house 2 years ago, and we've been doing lots of house projects. So we've had a lot in online savings, and we're doing a huge one this summer. We're building an additional garage. I mean, it's gonna be really expensive. So we've got a lot of money in online savings. So the interest we earn on those is income. As well as I had a birthday in April, and I knew my birthday was in April, but my parents and my mother-in-law, they always give us some cash for our birthday, and I didn't think about it when I created our budget. So we got more money than we were planning on, which is always a very good problem to have. So our total income was $5,558 for the month. But now let's move on to the expenses. And these fixed expenses are kind of the boring expenses that stay the same pretty much month to month. So tithing, we pay 10% on our gross income. So we made more than we were planning. So I paid more in tithing. We also do some humanitarian and some fast offerings, and that's all lumped in with tithing because I pay it all at the same time. Our mortgage is fixed. It's the exact same every single month. Electricity, we went over $2. We have solar panels, and it has been snowy. Even in April, we had some snow. And we got a foot of snow in April, actually. So I was just guessing $50. So we spent $52 on electricity. Our natural gas is the same every single month for 12 months, and then they readjust it. So it's exactly what we expected it to be. Our water and sewer, it's been the same the last 6 months. They have not been able to measure, to read the meters because they've been covered in snow. So I'll be really interested in May to see what happens when they read the meters and adjust. But our life insurance, this is my term life insurance, and it is fixed at $11.10. Car insurance, we pay monthly because there's no incentive for us to pay every 6 months. They let us pay monthly at no extra charge. So that's $97. It varies a little bit month to month. I need to look into it. I don't know why, but it does. Phone bill fixed at $30 for the month. People ask how we get this so cheap. We are on a family plan through AT&T. It's not our plan. We're added on to someone else's plan, so they just charge us the $15 per line. So that's as cheap as it could be. Internet fixed at $62 for the month. Gas for our cars, we budgeted $250, but we only spent $202. Piano is fixed at $100 for the month. And preschool for our youngest is fixed at $100 for the month. So total fixed expenses were $3,029. We have 11 extra dollars, which is great. Now moving on to the variable expenses. I like to keep variable separate from fixed because fixed, I don't have a lot of control over. And I'm going to lazy. We have all these different categories for our variable expenses, but when I go shopping at the store, I lump them all together. So I just say I've got 829 for the month and I divide it into weeks. So for April, I had 207 every week. So I keep track of how much I spend, but I don't keep it separate in categories. I am trying to do better. I've gotten lazy. I have an envelope system that I have used for several years and it has worked really well for me. I loved it. In the comments that I just entered, there's a link to that video. It has worked really well for me, but I have found that our grocery budget was so high. It kind of, we used it as like our miscellaneous categories. So whenever we had random expenses, we just pulled out of our groceries. But now with inflation and grocery prices having gone up so much, we are using our grocery budget for groceries. So I want to see how accurate my numbers are. So in May, I am committing to tracking my numbers better for all the different variable categories. And I'm using EveryDollar. It's one of my favorite budgeting apps. So I will be using that and I'm going to have it separate for each category in here. So we just spent $814 for all these categories. But then birthday spending, I wasn't planning on it. I had kind of forgotten about the money, but I got $100 and usually I will save it and like plan for months what I'm going to spend my money on because it's totally fun money just for me. But this month it was like on my birthday or the day after my birthday, I was in Kohl's. I went to get earrings. I wanted to buy some earrings for my birthday. And then I found some running shoes. I have high arches, so I have a hard time finding running shoes that work for me. But New Balance is a brand that works for me. And they had some on sale for a good price. So even though I don't need them right now, I know in the next few months I'll need a new pair. I just bought them right now. So I spent $70 on my running shoes and on my earrings in addition. So overall, we went over 54 because I wasn't planning on that birthday money. But we'll see how it works out in the overall budget. Emergency fund. I didn't budget anything because we have a fully funded emergency fund, but like I said, we have our emergency fund in an online savings account. It earns interest every month and we earn $54 of interest. So we just let it sit in there and accumulate in our account. So we're at $15,547 for our emergency fund. And emergency funds, I get asked this a lot, 3 to 6 months, depending on how many incomes, how volatile your income is. So we are single income. We live off of my husband's income so that we want to have a 6-month emergency fund. However, he is a teacher, which is a very stable income. So this is a 6-month emergency fund for us, but it is like bare bones. Like if my husband lost his job or couldn't work, we would like cut everything extra. So it would probably more realistically be like 4 months or 5 months of spending. But if we did need to, we could cut back and it could last for 6 months. My husband's personal money, he gets fund money for him, as well as $25 for his bike maintenance stuff. That's automatically transferred to his own checking account, which I have access to, but it's his account. He has a card for it. Anything he spends comes out of his account for his bike or for himself. So he spent $25, so he's at $17.59. Life insurance, we budgeted $69. It's automatically transferred every month, $69, so that when we have to pay our life insurance, we've got the money. So right now we have 414 in there. And this is for my husband's term life insurance. He has, I want to say it's a 15-year policy for $1 million, and it works out to be $69 a month. House maintenance, I budgeted 25 and I didn't put any in. This used to be an automatic transfer and I stopped the automatic transfer and I forgot to put money in. So I didn't put any in, but we spent a lot, $540. I have gone crazy. We have a very large yard and it's finally spring here. We've had so much snow. We're so ready for spring, but I've been buying lots of plants and flowers, and I mentioned we have a big yard. We have a lot of flower beds and there's a lot of maintenance, a lot of weeding, a lot of trimming. So I've been trying to purchase perennial flowers that will come back year after year, that don't take a lot of water. And this spring, we've been purchasing a lot of ground cover that will spread and cover so we have less weeding and less mulch to replace frequently. So we have a lot of expenses there. My husband loves the hardware store. And so he always, whenever he goes, he comes home with something. So we're down to 543. So I need to start putting money back into this account. Vacation, we budgeted 150. We put 403 in because we have a trip coming up for my husband and I in just a few months to South Africa. And we were planning on taking it next year, but it got moved up. So we're trying to set aside as much as we can so we've got the money sooner. But we did spend over $2,000 on vacation. We're taking a big family trip for our entire family this summer, and we are volunteering for a week, and then we're traveling around for a week. And the volunteering, it can be really, really expensive. I found an organization that was cheaper than most that would let us take our kids, but I had to pay the fee for our volunteering. So it was right around $2,000 for our whole family. And we reserved an Airbnb for part of our stay. And so we've had a lot of expenses this month. So we're down to $2,200 in our vacation fund. House updates, we didn't budget anything or put anything in. We did spend $249. We updated our wills and it was $249. We went through trust and will, or will and trust. I should include, it was a positive experience. You can do just a will, or you can do a trust. And then if you need help with an attorney, you can get attorney's advice and help for an additional fee for a lot less than going to an attorney. I have a friend that got a quote. It was going to be like $1,600 to do their trust. And I think on will and trust, they're like $600. We did that. So I pulled it out of this account. So we're at $43,479. And that's why we have so much money in there, is because we're in the process of building a garage this summer. And that is our money for that. So that's why we're earning so much money in interest. Extra mortgage payment, I budgeted $150. This is just what I earned from my business. And so I anticipated $150. I actually earned $262. So that is what we put towards our extra mortgage payment. So we now have $502 in that account. And when I get up to, it's like $756, I'll make an extra mortgage payment. That's a month worth of principal. But in our online savings account, we're actually earning higher interest than the interest on our mortgage. So I just leave it in there till we have a full month to pay. Clothing, I budgeted $50, but then put in $80. I didn't spend all of my birthday money, so I put it in towards clothing because our clothing fund was at $0. And there are a few things I know we'll want to buy before our trip with our family. We did spend $45. Our oldest daughter buys her own clothing, but we still provide a few pairs of shoes. But we will $45 is the limit. And she wanted some Doc Martens that were like 70 or 80. So she had to pay the difference, but we paid $45. So we now have a whopping $35 in our clothing fund. Gifts, we budgeted $25, put $25 in. We did spend $60 for some flowers for my father-in-law's funeral. And so we're at $40. And May is a month with lots of gifts for teachers. So hopefully we'll make it be enough. Medical fund, this is new. I just started it. I have explanation in my budgeting videos, but essentially we have a bunch of medical expenses we were not planning on. So our flex spending will not cover it. So I'm starting medical fund, and I figure between 5 kids, eventually we're going to need braces and we're going to need the money for medical. And we don't have a health savings account because we don't qualify for it. So we can't put in a health savings account. So we're just putting it in online savings for now. So we have $300 in that account because I just opened it. Car expenses, we budgeted $75, put $75 in. We did not have any maintenance or any oil changes or anything. So we have 919 in there. Christmas fund, we didn't budget anything, didn't put anything in. So we're at 1,000. Kids extracurricular, we budgeted 50, put 50 in. We did spend 58. We registered one of my kids for cross country for the summer camp. And so we have 374 in that account. Roth IRA, I budgeted 300, but this is automatically transferred and I forgot to go in and change it. So 275 is what was taken out. And I don't track that here because it's invested. So I don't track it here. So this gives us an extra 87 cents, which I'm just going to leave in our checking account. Now, let me come back over and check to see if anyone had any questions. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I will answer. I try to respond to every comment as soon as I can. And I have links to those videos I mentioned. There's a link to my budget template, the videos I mentioned about online savings accounts, and the envelope system that I use, as well as a link for free consultation as a financial coach. I do one-on-one coaching for monthly. I do 2 sessions a month for my clients, but I offer a free consultation call where I sit down with you and we learn your financial situation, see what your financial goals are and what you need to do to meet them, and I help you set up a plan. So if you're interested, feel free to schedule a free consultation call, no obligation. Anyway, otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Leave comments and I will answer them as best I can. Thanks so much. See you in the next video.